All right. Success together. Shout out to Nick, Raw Cannon, all the Cannon. Shout out to my brother Mile. Shout out to Mark. I got something to say to you, Mark. But if you see the show, you already know I don't gotta say what I gotta say. Cause somebody told me, you know what I'm saying, that you can't come back at a certain age. You know what I mean? Somebody told me you can't come back at a certain age. I know you see it. Mark, my brother who yo, that shit for a dude like myself, and I don't want to go off course, but for a dude like myself who like I don't know. You can't tell me I can't do shit, man. Now I am somebody that doesn't get delusional to the point where it's like I just lose my mind. Like, no, I'm gonna do it. You know, you find out where your level at. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you know, something like working out, something like, you know, taking care of your body, something like having a self love to be, you know, informed about your body, be in touch with your body. You know, you like, yo, what am I doing? How am I going to have a long quality of life? No, we are not going to live forever. Nobody wants to be young in the way that people want to be young. Y'all want to be immature. You know what I mean? Y'all want to do the shit that the kids do. Y'all don't want to have responsibility. Y'all just want to do whatever you know, nobody wants to be young in that fucking way. That's the shit that got everything fucked up. Everybody 18 to 65 dressing the same way, talking the same way, listening to the same music. Y'all heard me say this 1,000 times. It fucked us up as a culture. And then the crazy part is everybody want to be young. Nobody want to be a wise age like a 35, like where everything kind of meets. If you kept yourself in fairly good shape, it wasn't nothing I couldn't do at 21, at 30. At 30 was the marriage for me. Like how they tell you 21, nah, that's a lie. That's the speed you up and bang out too early. 30 is probably where everything come together because your frontal lobe develops. So you would say instead of 21, 25, and then I get 5 years of experience, my body still feel the same. I still run just as fast, jump. Actually, I probably run higher, jump higher, everything, because now I know the skill set and how I can improve on those natural talents. Now I have some wisdom of how to, you know, the step, instead of making the step so wide, I shorten the step. So where I was already more explosive than everybody else, now I've learned the skill set on how to shorten the step, and I'm even more explosive. That's what you learn at 30. That's what you married at 30. And I'm using sports and physical references, but it's the same for your brain. If my frontal lobe develops at 25, why is 21 looked at like that's where the world is your oyster? What? You still don't know how to calculate risk properly. Your brain is not fully developed. Why would I tell anybody that 21 was this amazing time and place when your brain doesn't even fully work right? That doesn't make sense. And then you have people by the time they turn 30 thinking they're old. When you're really at your prime, everything is marrying. You got a little bit of wisdom. You've been on this thing for 30. Your brain has fully developed. You have learned skill sets on how to master the talents that you got, those natural abilities to run, jump, memorize. Don't get it twisted up. It's all part of the same thing. So if I'm at my premium at 30 when everything marries, why am I thinking 21 is the age? They lied to you. Y'all be in midlife crisis time at 30 when you should be like, oh shit, I am the shit now. My brain work, I got some experience. I ain't all dumb and immature. I probably worked a couple jobs, probably been through a couple little things. My body's still operating at its premium. But if you start telling yourself at 21 that the shit is going downhill, you're not going to know that you really wasting a prime time in your life. That's why they give us so much time in jail. But I ain't going to go into that part. This, you know, y'all know that this show is owned and operated by returning citizens. This is a resource show, and our aim is to end, you know, information apartheid. Shout out to Village Restoration Project. You know, we moving around. You know, we already got a research project under our belt. Mansion, we still got information that we want to put out there. We're going to put out there. You know, we got curriculums as a part of it. We do violence prevention stuff. We do research. We train in restorative justice, real restorative justice. Philly needs to be more restorative than it is. Philly is very restorative in name, in organizational spaces. And I'm going to leave that right there. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Nick. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to my family. Shout out to Mark. Again, Mark, I came back. You told me I wasn't going to make it back. That never got out of my head. And this is the key. It's the 3 W's. Y'all waiting for the 3 W's? Y'all want to know what the 3 W's? The 3 W's is walking, water, and weed. Now, I know y'all might not agree with that. Water, walking, and weed. Somebody might say women. Nah, I'm sorry. I love my sisters, but that's a whole nother conversation. They have done something to my sisters to where they are not beneficial in an everyday way to their male counterpart. And they would say the same thing about men. But I'm going to speak from the standpoint of being an actual man. I check the boxes. Yes, I do. Oh, y'all like the glasses? Y'all never seen this look? It's cool. I like it. You know what I mean? I like the look. So anyway, actually being able to raise my hand with pride, no ego, no cockiness, none of that. With pride that I am a man. I protect, I provide. I take my responsibility. I take accountability. Ooh, the word accountability. But we're not going to go there. I'm just talking about a man. I love my children. I love being a father. One of the sturdiest things about me is that I love being a father, and I'm good at it. I'm good at it. I'm good at it because I want to be good at it. Now, my oldest daughter may say some different things here or there because the way that our relationship has come into be has been a lot of the American experience, with me spending a lot of my time in jail during her life. And me coming home and regaining that relationship. Because as soon as I knew that my daughter was mine, I was being a father from prison as much as I could be. And that is the thing. You can be that. Because the most important thing about being a parent is in between here. Intellect. How do you make that brain work? Food, clothes, and shelter is a prerequisite. The state gives it to you. You know, because we are service society, not a service-based society, and that's what we provide. That's what we all want, some services. Motherfuckers be like, I ain't working nowhere, fuck it. I'll find some services somewhere. Somebody give me something. That's what we think. You know what I mean? That's what we've been orientated to think. But anyway, there has been a thing that has happened to our women, black women, you know, that makes them very adversarial to black men. And I'm saying man because I'm an actual man. So because my sisters, my woman, the black woman, the African woman, has been dealing with men who are not men for a variety of reasons. One of the top reasons is they imitate the oppressor. They imitate white men. They love the things that white men think, do, all of that. And that has been viciously put into them. They didn't just watch that and say, yeah, I want to be a white man. No, the white man had to rape him into it. Yeah, I said it, rape him. We say how our sisters were raped. Yes, they were. Viciously, for a particular reason. Because manhood means something. That's why the visual had to be seen by me. And it had to be acted upon so that you could know that your man cannot protect you. But then they also raped the men because the men didn't live those type of lifestyles. That wasn't attached to African manhood, that type of sex. Having sex with men, it wasn't attached to it. So it became a violence because it wasn't something social to us, because if it was social to us, we would have been okay with it. You wouldn't have been able to use it as violent. It wouldn't have questioned or tampered with or destroyed our manhood. I told myself I'm going to trying to stop yelling. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. You know what I mean? I'm trying. So, the idea that it was a social thing, that it was something that went on amongst men already, doesn't prove out because you wouldn't have been able to use it violently. And the reason why, because somebody could say, well, how could you rape a woman? But this is a social thing. So if you're saying the man, that's not attached to manhood. It's a violence in that way where you say it's a control thing with women. It's an engineering thing with men. The difference in heterosexual, if we're going to say that you're raping women for control, and in this case, you're raping women for strategy. It's a violence nonetheless, but it affects her differently. And you understood that when you did that, when it was being done. So again, you would say it's social to women, but your strategy and why you're doing it. We say socially men, and it sounds crazy, socially men rape for control. And a person would say, well, socially men rape. Yeah. Rape culture is a part of American, this is a part of who we are. Being raping, that's a part of who we are. Look at the numbers. We talk about gun violence. We talk about a lot of things. Look at the sexual assaults. Look at the way we have to engineer our society to keep men from raping women. Wow, that's crazy. And in the two craziest places where they do it to most and women seem the most unsafe, it's on college campuses, academic places. You would think people would be thinking, higher level of thought, huh? And on military bases. Women are unsafe in the places where defense is supposed to be the highest. And you would think the defense would add the woman. But when you have a history that you have of this country, the woman. So what I said was, to start that off, is you have men are not men who follow behind the dominant culture, which are white men. Because of the way in which white men have came to be in this space. So then you say, what is the other reason why you wouldn't be mentally ill? You don't want to be a man? You don't want none of those responsibilities? You want to identify as something else? So you don't want to play none of those roles that we all know are important in manhood. We know it doesn't make a woman weak because she doesn't, her voice doesn't give a baritone. My baritone has things that it's supposed to be used for. It can give fear to help protect my family, like the bark of a dog, the baritone. It also has a certain effect on how I communicate with my woman. In sensual times and in more aggressive times, it has an effect. Not violent, but it has an effect. And it also has an effect with my children. We hear it all the time. The children listen to the father differently. Stature, he's usually taller than mom, usually wider than mom. Not better than mom, because mom's physical anatomy has benefits and powers too that go with those benefits and power that I present in that way. Manhood, very important. Very important. Now you could try to imitate it, simulate it. You could try to do all those things, but naturally, we know the difference. We know the difference. So, okay, those who want to imitate white men, not men. Those who want to not be a man at all, not men. In terms of manhood, read Baldwin. For anybody that want to have this conversation with me too, and I would love to. So we talking in terms of men who want to be with black women to build family, to build community. So this is what we saying. So then we got the dudes, the ones y'all know that y'all usually identify, the deadbeats. You feel what I'm saying? The dudes that don't want to be men. Remember, y'all was identifying them as down low too when the feminist movement told y'all it was okay. But then nobody wanted to talk about them, because then now we got to talk about LGBTQ, homosexuality in our communities. What is the difference in racial, the hierarchies? There's a lot of convoluted things that are going on that we're not having clear conversations about. So, again, now we come to the deadbeats, the drug addicts, the drug dealer / street nigga. That's not really a man. It's not a man. Why would a man go to bang out to try to take care of his family when he know that banging out is just banging out? We have history on our side that shows that if you decide that you want to be a street nigga, you are not a man. You're going to become a liability quicker than you're going to be able to take care of your family as a street nigga. And y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if street nigga, drug dealer, street, whatever you come through in the streets is your main thing, you are not a man. Because you already know that it's a high level of failure in what you're attempting to do. And mainly what you're trying to do is show some type of male bravado that women are misled by and that other men are misled by. Because you know how the story's going to end. And if it doesn't end in that way, everybody around you would have been affected in such a negative way. You were not a man. You didn't produce. You got people killed. You got people following your lifestyle, crashing out. You sent motherfuckers to jail. You did whatever you did for your money, because that becomes very crazy in the street, John. You know, what do you do for your money out in the streets? How ethical or unethical is any of it? But then we have levels of that in the street too that we judge by. You feel what I'm saying? And we don't like to get into it all the time. But I remember a time in the 90s where a rape robbery was a real thing between drug dealers as we was going to war. I remember that was a thing. I seen it. And not just in Philadelphia. Read the reports. Read about them. So then it becomes, oh, what can you do in the streets? How much is that? That's like using homosexuality as a form of violence in jail. That's a different type of, LBGT community that we talking about. I know we don't want to get into those conversations, but I'm telling you all the levels of where black men cannot be men and are not men because that male cannot properly raise a family, cannot properly protect a community, can't educate his family, can't be faithful, loyal, dedicated to his woman. He can't be. It's an impossibility. So, considering I'm none of those, I can stand up and say that I'm definitely a man. And I don't shy away from none of the things that come with actually being a man. Even maintaining my mental stability in order to deal with my people. And not be able to find every reason to say, yo, I don't have to deal with any of y'all because I am doing this. And since I'm doing this, and this is what everybody say, we actually say we want men to do, and y'all not responding to it properly, I don't have to fuck with none of y'all, because that's not being a man either. You can hide in that space real nice. You can. But that's not being a man either. All the motherfucker, I'm gonna get out the way, niggas. That ain't being a man either, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just get my shit. Yeah, that's rugged individualism. That's not being a man. Because if you have an individualistic way of thinking, you can't take care of no fucking body. Because everything that you say you doing for people, you only doing it to get a benefit from it. You're not doing it to build anything for everybody. Where the group will just automatically take care of all of us because we're all working in concert with the group. Simple mathematics. So, again, that's what I'm saying. As a man, I can say that. Speaking as a man, manhood is important. Our community is upside down because with manhood and womanhood, oh, my sisters, please tell me, where do you land with identity? Please tell me. Because I hear sisterhood, I hear black women, but I don't hear a lot of identity that stakes strong in being African women, the first women, the mothers of this whole situation. You don't even want to be a mother no more. And you the mother of the whole shit. How we gonna survive? How we gonna thrive? How we gonna live? If the one that started everything don't like life no more and don't care about it and it becomes a burden, why would any of us care about life? If you could so easily say that something that is coming from you, you could just kill it, why would these young men not care about their own lives if they hear those type of things from the women? If we can eliminate life so easily at its creation from the creator, and this ain't no abortion conversation. This is a very serious African woman conversation. The source of it all, the power of our community, my community. If you look at life as a burden, if you could just kill it, if you could just day after, whatever, and I've been involved in the fuckery of European eugenics, Planned Parenthood. I told myself I wasn't going to yell. So, if my sister can look at life, if the mother of the whole thing could look at life, and why wouldn't these young men murder themselves so easily? You know? Why wouldn't they? I'll just be trying to understand it. Like, you know? So, manhood is very important. And it was taken in a very serious way. You know what I'm saying? It was struck down in a very serious way. And we need to talk more about it. We definitely do. So, shout out to Care Not Control, Brit. I don't want to say the zine wrong. The magazine. I remember I didn't know what zine meant. People were like zines, and I'm like, what the fuck is a zine? Magazine. No kids in prison. I think that's the name of the magazine. It's a national magazine. One of the youth advisory board members, amongst a whole bunch of other things that Brit does, is one of the lead editors on the magazine. She's gonna come. She's been on the show before. Definitely gonna have her back on the show, talk about the show. I do plan on doing some writing for the magazine. So shout out to that. That's gonna be something real dope. National situation. I've met a lot of the people that's gonna be involved working with Care Not Control, and y'all already know what we on. We trying to build a base. We are building a base of young people who gonna start shutting down prisons and start activating these spaces who are basically abusing our children once you start putting them into the criminal justice system or family court or the school district. They all working hand in hand. So we gonna be in the front line of putting those places out there so people can know who is working for or against our children and shutting these places down because they have a track record of not working. If we talking about Vision Quest, if we talking about St. Gabe's, if we talking about Glen Mills, JJSC, we could go on and on with the abuses of these young men by staff, people entrusted by the system after a judgment was made about our children based on some activity that they did that they considered crime. At 12, 13, 14 years old, we can prove that it's not crime. Because this is the question for me. If you let the juvenile lifers free because of frontal lobe, how do we even still have baby prisons being built or being considered as a way to improve upon the life of young men and in turn improve upon the society that they come from? None of it makes sense. It's all folly, tomfoolery, fuckery, capitalism at work, slavery still churning like a motherfucker. And the baked-in underclass from capitalism is black folk, so most of the people you see locked up being abused, being the fuck abused, are people that look like me, young men, and now young women, who, because they're being played with culturally, the ideas of what womanhood is, now they're somehow thinking going to jail is a badge of honor too. Being a street John is a badge of honor too. Being more masculine and for whatever, however they identify. It seems cultural. It seems like trends of the day. You know? Mixed with trauma. Those type of activities are higher in places where trauma is high. So, shout out to CNC, man. We are going to be shutting down places. We are building a base. We want more young people understanding the criminal justice system because they're being prepared to be the next slaves to keep the machine moving. And they're teaching you through school, through movies, through music, how to be a person to be on that conveyor belt, on your way to prison. And every conveyor belt is a source of exploitation and your extermination. And you were aid and abet in your own shit. That's what we do. The people, I'm not even going to get on it. But going into the African womanhood, Asada passed away. She transitioned a couple days ago. Maybe 2-3 days ago. Some comrades, some revolutionary thinkers, some real-time revolutionaries that I know reached out to me and allowed me to know that happened, that, you know, because that's important to me as an African man, to look to my source of power to know what my direction is. And she has passed on. And it's crazy because the fanfare is not loud enough from my sisters. You know, I don't want anybody to pass away. But I can name some people that if they pass away, y'all would be in an uproar, and they ain't did shit for black women and definitely not for black people. And if I was a clickbait bull, I would start running off the names. But I don't even care about it because I know what I'm saying is the truth. Enough of y'all don't know about Asada. Enough of y'all ain't read that book. Enough of y'all not passing that book to these little babies, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, as a rites of passage for African black women in America, not African Americans. Don't let them dupe you. That's all I'm going to do. Or this. I fucked up. Get that other joint out of here, even though I like to do that. You got to do this, Joe. You know what I'm saying, to that right there. You know? So, I'm not going to go into no stories. I'm going to tell y'all, read her book. It's a great read, too. It ain't, listen, she bust moves how you supposed to bust moves. Shout out to the comrade, the revolutionary thinker. You know what I mean? But she bust realized moves. Y'all be talking about people as riders and all that. She was a rider. She broke out. She broke the fuck out. She ain't pay it out. She broke out and was riding in Cuba on the terrorist list. Up until she passed. Obama ain't take her off. And now I look at it like I don't want y'all to take them off the terrorist list. Because I feel like we should all be terrorists to America because of how it treated us. Yeah, I said the word terrorist. I know y'all play with all these words. Oh my God, he's going to go bomb something. Shut the fuck up. Because motherfuckers been terrorists to me every day of my life. They done turned terrorism into this very subtle shit. You could wear a SEPTA uniform and be a terrorist. You could wear a lab coat and be a terrorist. You could be the principal at an elementary school and be a terrorist and be killing the shit out of black people. And know you doing it. So just because I said I should be a terrorist to Americans, I am. And I love that Asada was and broke out of this bitch. I'm gonna ride out with that. I don't want none of the real motherfuckers to come off the terrorist list. That's how we gonna know they real motherfuckers. I'm talking about our people. I don't care about anybody else they put on. And those people, even though those people have nothing to do with me and their fight normally doesn't have, and I know y'all want to say it's all related, we all fighting imperialism. No, because those people be fighting to get back into imperialistic position. Or they be riding the coattails of other imperialistic powers. Y'all be getting it fucked up because we got a name of the day. Y'all be acting like all the people they fight won't be the next name of the day, and that's the reason why they're fighting the name of the day. But since they're fighting them, y'all think we allies. No, they fighting to get their shit. And they will no less, as soon as they get their shit, turn right around and book you the fuck up. We can use you for our shit now. So, anyway, I don't want none of the riders off the terrorist list. That's how we know. You know, in jail, right? In prison, we used to look at our celebrities and like Don Divas and stupid shit like that, right? But this is how we knew who, quote unquote, banged out with the system at a high level. You know, shot out with the cops, got all the money. Whatever you did criminally, because you know I'm really still only 3/5 of a man. Especially since they put me back into slavery for hurting another black man. You see how that all works? It don't never stop working for him. You set the table up for me to do this to the brother, and then now me and the brother fucked up, and now we both just serving your shit. He hurt serving the medical system or paid into the obituary system, and I said the obituary system, the funeral system and all that, because it's all a check. Or I'm going upstate and I'm going to help feed Altoona and their whole community while mine suffers. It just never stops. And 9 times out of 10, because I wasn't taught to critically think, have no identity, I'm going to go upstate and it's just going to feed whatever criminal mentality and all of the dumb shit that they created. And there's the street niggas, you know, all that good shit. We just going to go back on the street and be those people. And it's going to be hard for us to get it out of ourselves. Hard. Myself included. It just seemed like it's always a plan. Because the environment is always set and right for it. You gotta make sure your built-in underclass stays the built-in underclass. And how do you do that? You get them to just do it to themselves. The very system that's made to kill them, they are made to believe in it. And think that it's theirs. Own it. Go in other places. I'm proudly American. Oh, okay. All right, cool. It's all right. It's all right. You can be that. But I'm just saying, Asada, read the book, man. Read the book. I ain't got to go into no long soliloquy about no parts of the book, no parts of the story, none of that. Read her book. It's a great read. It's a fairly easy read, if I got to say that, in order to get people to read a book. And it gives you a lot about identity. African identity. American-born African identity. What happens to us in this experiment, this corrupt organization called America. Another thing I would say, man, I've been heavy on please go look at that Nikki Giovanni, James Baldwin John wrote. Read it. Nikki asked James. Nikki told James that black women wanted black men, a lot of them. And the more me and my folks read and think and go through our own shit based on those emotional patterns and ideas that were fucked over and fucked with, and now we try to figure them out and deal with them at the same time. She said black women wanted to be lied to, and I thought about that, and I said, damn. And then we, All About Love, please read it, because it ties into this part of All About Love, about when women come into the society away from the home. And the level of, and y'all not going to like me saying it like this, but lies are delusion. So the level of delusion that came into the society. And one of the things that I say about my sisters all the time that makes it hard for me to trust and believe is my sisters can hide in so many ways. They can hide with their sexuality. They can hide with their sensuality. They can hide with their motherhood. They can hide with their fragility, being smaller. They can also be ultra aggressive and hide in that, because it's like, I don't want to go at you like that. And if I do respond to you in this way, I'm still going to lose because you're a woman. And something that was said to me by a couple little brothers, and I kind of been peeping it too, and I know my sisters, and I would love the conversation, and we probably going to have a deeper conversation with my brothers next week. But I'm starting to see, like, a lot of my sisters are saying, have been saying, and is true to a degree, that black women are the most unprotected women. Are we saying in America or on the planet? Because one of the things that I'm starting to understand about America, in the places I be in America with black women are making other black women unsafe, either by being ultra aggressive towards them. We've seen it. Pull-up culture in Philly is a real thing, and I kind of see it all over the country because Baddies is very successful, or had been, whatever that brought into being. The city girls, all of that good shit. All of the ultra-aggressive women and the ideas of putting that out there. And we see it in our little girls. The attitude shit, all that. It's just vicious. You know what I'm saying? But the people that they're most vicious towards are not the men that everybody says that you should hate. Because that's still a real thing, too. That's really a real strong ideology about the folly of men. And every man fits it until he shows you otherwise. But by the time this man proves this, your emotional patterns and all this shit, he don't feel like that shit, and he goes about his business. Or he winds up actually doing some shit to prove your man idea thoughts out. And the shit don't work like that either. So that's what we wind up having. But what I'm seeing, black women make black women more unprotected than most people. Black women do some of the most vicious shit to each other in name of men, children, competition, fashion, status, hair, ass, Instagram, whatever you want to go into. Y'all vicious. And the way y'all judge each other and how y'all know internally how women are with self-esteem and things like that. Y'all know about yourself. That's why y'all could be so viciously nasty and say shit that cuts so deep to other women. Colorism is a real motherfucking thing amongst black women that we need to jump into heavy and start talking about it. And pretty privilege and all of that goofy shit is all a form of colorism. Status, the whole fucking nine. That shit leaves black women very unprotected. Because women that y'all don't value in an attractive way, y'all will leave anything to fucking happen to them. And I've watched it, especially with men. Ugly self. Fat self. Y'all say, that's another thing I gotta, for me, y'all can say this is anecdotal. I don't hear nobody call black women ugly more than black women. Not the men you hate. Not the fucking men you hate that you think are calling you ugly all the time. No. It's women around us who judge the women we bring around. We be like, mum's the word. Like, if he like her, he like her. I don't want to go through nothing with this man over his chick. I don't even want him to think I'm looking at his chick like that. The women, your sisters, your cousins, your mom and they will judge women you bring around viciously. And I mean it like that, viciously. The things that have been said to me around women that I have been around in any light. With other women, who was that? She ugly. What? Yeah. And they do it to curry favor, whatever the fuck it's about, low self-esteem, whatever. So what I've noticed, because what you're doing is you're creating an identity and an idea of what black men should like. And a lot of times you turning the light off for yourself, trying to feed into that shit and feeding into that shit. And I know a bunch of women, nah, that ain't what we doing, this, that, and the third. I'm just telling you as a man that be around women. Got a lot of women in my family. I love black women. I research women. I read about women. I listen to women. I do all of it. All of it. So the best thing about being a man is being with black women. I don't know if other men going to tell you that, but that's me. And jail taught me that shit in a very stark way. So, and that's how I maintain my manhood in prison. I was longing for what was mine. I ain't want nothing else. I was not going to change nothing about myself to feed some instantaneous desire to bust a motherfucking nut. I'm not going nowhere but to my woman. White man can't turn my thoughts to nothing else by sexual repression. It's a real motherfucking thing, and it can fuck with you. Seen it. Playing with a man's sex is a different type of thing. Y'all need to read about it. See what happened to the man that was the breeder, the player. Was told when to have sex, who you're going to have sex with, and who's going to have sex with you. We don't talk about that enough. But going back to what I was talking, to the regular schedule program. My sisters, it's seeming like the reason why y'all can say that y'all might be or could be the most protected group of women is because women, black women in particular, that's who I'm talking about, my women, who I hear that from, who say that that's what it is, and I'm not against it. I'm one of the motherfuckers on the front line trying to stop it. Don't like when I hear it. I suffer from the same issue as most of my sisters. I don't have enough brothers. It ain't enough of us. It ain't enough men. We trying to raise them up. But this the fucked up part about that too. I got the same person that's asking for men, not raising them and doing everything in her power to keep these little bros from being men. And will tell you the only reason why it didn't work because a man wasn't around. I don't know how true that is. That's not real. You know? I've been in spaces where women run all the men away. I'm dead ass serious. I'm serious. And again, it could be anecdotal. This just could be me. And I'm all right with it if it is. I'm just going to speak on my experience then. And I have to go by my experience. And I have to get other experiences to step out of that. I think I'm pretty well versed in some things. So, you know, I'm going to go on what I've been seeing and been aware of. What I've read about, what I've studied. Yeah, I've studied something. I've studied the power. If you're talking about you, the center of the community you created, I got to study that. I got to make sure that I'm being proper to it. But if the enemy got to the power and twisted it all up, then I prepared myself for something that, you know, it was a level of my training that I left out. So what I want to say to my sisters and what the little brother said to me is what they've noticed is the women go to all the places that are most dangerous for them. Most of the places where it's not really dangerous that they don't want to be. They're not there. A bunch of women don't hang out at the library. I don't see a bunch of women at the library. I don't. I'm not saying black women just go to places that's dangerous. But that's what we've been noticing. The dangerous men, the black women seem to like to be around or in juxtaposition to them. Whether it's the dangerous little brother, who you keep saying, don't make me go get my brother. You know that nigga making everything more dangerous, right? That's the reason why you're going to get him. Y'all like it. Y'all like when y'all little brothers, y'all nephews, y'all sons is on drill shit. Y'all just don't like when niggas get drilled. But y'all like hearing it. Y'all like the fame. Y'all like to be able to come say, yeah, my son, they just be acting like they distraught. No, they not. They don't be. And I get it too. You love it for the same reason the young boy love it. We don't have a lot of ways to express being anything. So if they fake us out and make anything or 1 in a million chance that you could be somebody by doing that, then we gonna tap into it. And we gonna inspire our children to be it. And when they look like they might be close to it or they might be one of the ones, we're gonna take pride in that because our self-esteem is fucked up too. It's layers to this shit. I get it. I'm not just saying it and just attacking. I could be one of those that know better and just attack, and know why people really twist it like that. There's a bunch of them out there too. Y'all be listening to them, playing. And them high quality men boys. It's a group of boys on Instagram that be like whispering to the women like, if he is not giving you roses in the morning, then you are a woman that's a goddess and you supposed to be treated. And he is not a real man. And I was like, when do real men have time to make Instagram posts like that? Real motherfuckers. Like the real men. When? And why would they? Because most of the real boys would never come out and be telling you I don't gotta do all that. I don't gotta do all that. I don't gotta do all that. I don't. I'm a man. I'm sorry. They be mad because I don't do it because this dumb nigga out there doing it. And he still won't get her over me. I'm just being real with it, man. Everybody know when a man walk in the room. Everybody recognizes. So, again, sisters, I want to protect you. I'm here to protect you. But I cannot protect you if you won't protect yourself. It's kind of like being in the street and you yelling, ah, 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 and we can't see nothing else that's going around us because you won't shut the fuck up. And now my dumb ass yelling. And now neither one of us know what the fuck is going on around us. No protection at all. How did that happen? Because you ain't want to shut the fuck up. You wanted to be a spectacle. You wanted to be heard. You ain't gonna fucking play with me. You wanted to control the situation. I get it. Because you like to be lied to. And since I won't lie to you, now we going through this bullshit. And then when I do lie to you, here come all the fake pattern ass fucking emotions. Because now you actually more happy. I ain't gonna lie. They be happy when you get caught. So it proves out all they shit. And now they can go overdrive on emotional bully shit. Overdrive. And if you got some money, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? If she's a high sexual woman, you just going to have to, listen, if you got any chicks on the side, it's no more nothing. You're going to have to do rub, kiss. You're going to be doing everything. Because you ain't got shit else. You know what I'm saying? You got to do everything. You super nasty nigga now. You in the life nigga with her now. Like, yo, you nut. And that's another thing for my sisters too. All that fucking touching yourself, and I know y'all learned this shit in prison. That shit is not okay. Something is not okay if you're trying to touch yourself every fucking day. I just said it. It's not okay. And it's the funny thing. I remember when we was all taught that the only people that be super touchy and doing all that to each other, not each other, but to themselves all the fucking time is men. And then you hear about women just 90 going, everybody got the toys. The toys. And I listen, your toy is your toy. It ain't none of my business. However you, but it's not real. It's not real. And you're dealing with something artificial. And we can have that conversation because a lot of women are like, well, we ain't got men. I'm more like to do your own thing with your own stuff. Don't use artificial stuff because it has artificial shit that comes with it. I know y'all women know that those things have side effects. Y'all know. We could go into the side, but we not. I know. Y'all tell us everything when y'all, because they was telling me, hey, niggas be pillow talking. No, women can't wait to lay next to you and tell you every motherfucking thing. And the thing about it is, there's nothing wrong with that. We just live in mess culture. We live in tea culture. It's not, see, people be thinking, hey, you just want to run your mouth, pillow talk, this, that, and the third. No, because the conversations that we supposed to be having are ability. We supposed to be so comfortable that the conversation just flows. I get to the end of my day and but we so much talk about mess and everything that we say is mixed into sounding like mess and tea and gossip because we so negative in thought on purpose. We can't have those real conversations because at the end of the night, that is supposed to be the time when it be like school, the children, what our aspirations is. How do we deal with each other that day? But we get so orientated about talking about other people and so many different issues going on. And even that is not an issue because why shouldn't another married couple that's friends of mine not be discussing what's going on between me and my lady in hopes that they can come tell their friends a better way to deal with it. But the way that we live our lives, when you get that information, one of us, if it's not both of us, is comparing it to some messy shit that's going on around, and it turning us talking about our friends instead of really working with that information and going and assessing and helping our friends the way we're supposed to. So it's the same thing going on, but it's your perspective. It's your perception. It's how culture makes you deal with that information. I've dealt with many women when I talk to them about other women and I'm having an open conversation. These women are recording the information in order to weaponize it at some point. She's recording it to try to say you lied about something at some point. She's not taking the information in for what I'm giving it to her for, to kind of see where I'm at as a man, so you can know rather where are we going with this? Because you can kind of get that from the door when I'm telling you the things I'm telling you. But no, you're not doing that. Because of the culture that you've been given, you're taking this shit as an investigation. You're finding a way to weaponize it. And if you can, you'll just use it for likes at some point. Because it was just crazy, or you never heard somebody say nothing like that to you. That's because you thinking in mess and you thinking in tea. You thinking in lies and deception. You're not thinking in actual building. Because the other part of it is, why would you ever regurgitate that information in any kind of way? Why would you want to do that? If we was having a conversation to try to actually get to know each other and move to another stage in whatever we call relationships. But because of the way you even take the information in, the communication can't be right. And we be wondering why the shit be coming out in all these different ways. And then when we trying to clarify shit, we can't. And then don't get to the just actual intentional lying that goes on. Fuck it. You know, but black women, there's men out here that really want to, and are trying to protect you. You are aiding and abetting in your own unsafety, insecurity. I'm keeping it fucking real. And if you don't like it, listen, we can have real conversations, and you'll have to go home and really think about it, because, you know, we get into this space where we don't want to tell the truth. Or we get into this, and that's another thing, because I had that written down. I'm going to go to that. It popped out, and I'm going to go to it. Ethics, loyal, character. This is one of the basic things I'm going to tell y'all, and I ain't going to go far into it. There's no need to get into, like, real actual details. Y'all don't need no actual examples. This is a real thing. I've said this a lot of times. You cannot be friends with two people who do not like each other. The only thing that you could do that's ethical, that's loyal, that shows character, is to be honest about who the fuck is wrong and what you heard about those two people and make a decision. Yo, you wrong. I heard what you've been saying about so-and-so. I've been around them. I know I've been around both of y'all. I'm listening to everything. I have all the pieces to the puzzle. And even if I don't, from what I got right here, and because I fuck with both of y'all, I've decided, me, you wrong. Or whatever the fuck you talking about ain't deep enough for every time I talk to you, got something to say about them. So I don't want to hear that shit. And I'd rather be around them because they ain't do shit to me. And from what you saying, they ain't really do shit to you neither. So those is decisions you got to make. Because it ain't got to be a right and wrong. It's just this shit is unethical. It's like, why? Why are you doing that? I'm not doing that because that person is my friend too, supposedly. So all I'm going to say, if you got two people that you so-called love them and they don't like each other, make a fucking decision. Because if you don't, a bunch of nasty, unloyal, unprincipled, fucking, y'all know all the fucking unprincipled word. No integrity, no dignity, no pride. A bunch of that shit about to ensue, and it's gonna be you right in the middle of that shit because you knew both. You know a lot of the story, and you can have a chance to be a real motherfucking person, a real friend, a real arbitrator of real people's lives, and say, listen, I'm not going with that shit. I'm not listening to it no more because I really do fuck with them. So that's one. That's number one. Number two is stop fucking lying. And that's the thing. Fuck stop lying. Stop letting people lie, bro. Stop letting your family lie. Stop letting your friends lie. Stop letting your coworkers lie. Don't let a stranger lie in front of you. For real. I don't know that to be true. Because strangers involve you in conversations and you heard the whole, and this motherfucking lying. That episode that's not how it went. And you sitting here arguing with this person. And then you want to bring me into it. And I know y'all look at this shit and be like, that's something small, but no. People do that with bigger shit too. That be their training ground. You learn human behavior. You learn people be ashamed so they don't want to embarrass people. So you'll keep doing it and they'll rock with it because they don't want to embarrass it. And the motherfucker that's lying, they're playing you. And now you in it. Because when they told that lie, anybody that knew you was in the room, yeah, so-and-so was in the room when they're like, what? What? He ain't say nothing? Did he say something? Oh, I don't know if he say something. You know, when I got there, they was already talking. Oh, here go the mess person. This how the shit get goofy. You didn't have to say that. You knew you was there from the beginning. Or you knew it just started. You didn't know where it was going. So all you had to do is say when you was there, that's what you heard. You ain't got to say when they was already talking because you know what that says. He might have said something. I don't know. Because we thinking mess and tea. You act like you trying to be as clear as you can be, but what you really is instigating the bullshit. There go that clarity word. People be playing with it. They be playing with it. So, again, you can't be friends with two people that don't fucking like each other. You're going to be the slime ball in the end, and you are the slime ball if you don't address it correctly. The other thing is stop letting people lie in front of you, man. Stop letting people lie in front of you. And stop, the biggest part of those lies is stop letting people leave out big parts of the story that you know that they leaving out because it might say you was involved. It might say you was the one, because people do like to tell stories, especially in our families, about these isolated incidents and when they happen. Yeah, so-and-so and whatchamacallit was in the room and XYZ happened. This is a 3-story fucking house. Nobody else was here. And where's their side of the story? And why were they up there and nobody knew what the fuck was going on? Can we start getting into the deeper levels of the conversation? And if we know so-and-so did something, and y'all telling me about a story that happened 10 years ago, why y'all still fuck with them? But y'all, when y'all get mad, y'all want to tell me how fucked up it was or what they did 10 years ago. Only when y'all get mad, though. Only when y'all can't get something from them. Only when you're trying to curry favor from somebody. So it might be somebody that don't like them neither, so now you want to tell the story. So y'all can hang out all day and smoke weed and talk about this motherfucker. This how petty and stupid it is. I'm just giving y'all real stories, and y'all know this is what I'm talking about is true. Stop doing it. Again, can't be friends with two people that don't like each other. You are the slime ball. Every time. Second, stop letting people lie in front of you. Stop fucking doing it. Stop doing it. Stop. You are a part of it once you let it go down. You lied too now. They distorted your reality too. Now your reality of that situation ain't real neither. So if they do add you to the story, on you. You did lie. Because you ain't say nothing. You ain't correct that shit. You stood right there and went. You might have even laughed a little bit, dummy. Don't snicker neither. When motherfucker come around, yeah, you look right at him like, nah, I don't know that story, bro. Yeah, but nah. That's matter of fact, no, but no. And this is this shit I'm just trying to show folks. You feel what I'm saying? Two basic Jones that can get a lot of the fuckery that's going on in our communities with our peoples out of the system, man. Out of the system. For real. For real. And again, and this is a critical thought thing. It's a critical thought thing. You can't discipline people if you're not disciplined. And I peep that shit in my own life. As much as I think that I'm doing, it's not enough regimented shit for people to be on for them to hold fort. And that shit could take a lot of fucking energy because shit worked for me how it worked for me. But that's something that I actually am seeing. It's not a fucking excuse. I'm still not letting the fuck up. But I understand, yeah, okay. It got to be more regimented. Your shit got to even be more regimented. I don't got to lead everything as my comrade has told me. I'm just fucking with you. But I do have to have a regiment that motherfuckers can visibly see. My daughter told me this one thing about how I love people. She was like, I know you love everybody, but that shit be in your head. You got to show people that shit. Because I be having ideas of what I want to do, and I got to get to it. And people want love and need love now. And in my head, it's like, I'm showing the love and the consistency of being around here. And the worst thing you could do is tell people that you want to do things for them. Not because you don't want to do it, not because they don't deserve to know that these things might be done, but it's like I'm a black man in America. This shit might get a little goofy at times. And what I really, really wanted to do, I might not be able to do it. for a variety of fucking reasons. And some of them just me being a black man in America, and I'm still on goofy time. I still ain't get it all the way right. The thought patterns is still not all the way solid yet. The other shit still seems like it might make more sense. And that's why I say to my brothers what I'm starting to say more to my sisters now. You can't get no fucking out for that. You still got to get the same lashes until you figure it out. Because if I allow you to do it, then that delusion is going to maintain. The idea that I might be able to go out here and do this is still going to be a thing, and we're going to lose people to it. We're going to lose you to it. So I can't let that be your delusion. I've dealt with it in my own life. Motherfucker don't got enough arms, man. I need more brothers. I need more men, black men, African men. I need, because it's a certain type. I took this class, took this training, this eco training around organizing. I'm just saying eco because it's like an ecosystem training. And what they were trying to show you how to do is identify what stage and identity people are in the organization so we can have better communication with each other. Because some of these identifications naturally conflict. Some of them merge into each other in different places, but some of them naturally conflict. Now, if we have an understanding that these people will have these identities at different stages of organization, we can better know how to deal with folks and get better communication, which makes our organization run better. That's real life. That's regular everyday shit that we trying to apply. It's about knowing your role and understanding other people's roles. So, let me see what else I had in my book. Shout out to my daughters, Sakile, Suhana. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the folks, everybody. I got a book. And shout out to the Abolition School. Now, it got Du Bois on here. I am not a Du Bois fan. Hold up. Oh, there you go. So you gotta know how the camera work when it's, that's science too. So I'm blocking Du Bois, on purpose. Hold up. Is it Du Bois? Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm blocking Du Bois. And a lot of people in these like socialist abolition, highly political spaces, they like a lot of the folks that I see as American creations. They kind of was like really Buckeyes. They only got to be seen the way they got to be seen because they were fair-skinned. And if you look at their identities and how they struggled with their own identity as they fought the oppressor in a very learned way, they struggled with wanting to be the oppressor. And because that was a fact, they attacked a lot of black folk who didn't have that malaise of whiteness being an actual thing to them. People like Garvey. And the way he viciously attacked Garvey and helped destroy that movement, that was a mark against black people that I don't care how eloquently he writes. And a lot of it is true. The duality of black, that's the most masterful thing he wrote. How we live in a world, he was one of those people where we aspire to be and want to be and work for the very system that is destroying us. So the higher you go, the more black people you're going to actually be destroying. Yeah, y'all. Basketball players, football players, rappers, politicians, architects. Politicians know. They know capitalism. They know a built-in underclass got to be there. So what do black people know? That's just like gentrifiers that move to the city. They know why they moving to the city when they go work in those organizations with them same people. That's a real thing. So, I am not a Du Bois fan. I'm not an Angela Davis fan. And I know I love to have a conversation. I'm a Asada. I'm not even a fan. I'm an Asada, what's the word? Like this like connected. I'm connected to my ancestry in that way. I am a Baldwin guy. And I didn't read Baldwin when I was young and immature. Wasn't a homophobe. It's not a real thing. We can have that conversation. But because I believed some things that I believed and I understood some things about behavior, I wasn't. And then once I read them and I understood the intellect, and it always blows my mind that I go into a lot of spaces, a lot of LGBTQ spaces with folks who are a part of that community. And in this time that we saying that we're fighting what we're fighting, I don't understand why Baldwin is not more read. That's why I spoke to the conversation between him and Nikki Giovanni when we talk about feminism and how it came out and Nikki's thought as an intellectual. And then we talk about LGBTQ community and we see a black representation of that Because if we say in that community, was it even a community then? And if it was a community for black people when we know how hierarchy and racism actually go? Same thing we could say about feminism. And these are really, really deep questions when you talk about how these things aid and abet good or bad for black people when we share space and be in movement. And with how detrimental that can be for black people. Especially in people who don't know better. Because they will argue you down. They will take up more space. You will have to leave space to inform them where they're already living with all of this privilege. Now space where I'm trying to get on equal footing or whatever we're trying to do as black people, being oppressed, 500 years of it and moving. It's like having to argue the point in space is taking up more space that we could be using to get to the point where we are being, I'm not 3/5 of a man anymore. I'm not a slave anymore. It's like I don't see how it don't change the conversation when I'm sitting there standing you and I'm talking to you as a slave. And you still want to take up space for yourself. When you know your privilege that you very well have comes from me standing in front of you and still being a slave, and we're sharing space. The act of even informing you of this level of understanding is taking more space from me. For a variety of reasons, and those are 1,000 other conversations. But we're going to continue to have them. So I love being in the abolition school, being in that space, having intellectual talks. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Evan. I had a great conversation with Evan. Evan is the campaign manager for Care Not Control. And we going to do some work. We're going to do some things. Because work, the work is my life. Everything that I tell y'all about literally lives in me, in my home, and around me all day. If we want to talk about mental health, if we want to talk about reentry, you want to talk about food insecurity, you want to talk about housing insecurity, if you want to talk about white privilege showing up in crazy ways, if you want to talk about the non-relationship between black men and black women, all of this shit shows up in my life daily that I'm trying to get to another level so black people, African people can get back to their way. Get back to our way. Take what you need, leave the rest. Always community of thought, never individualistic. As long as you support the community, they will always lift up the individuals. It's none of that rising tide, rise all boats bullshit that Obama told y'all. He knew it was some bullshit, some classic political bullshit that y'all would go for, because that means all the boats stay in the same position. It's inflation. It's like, yeah, I'm making 250,000. I was making 150,000. He's making 200. He's making 500,000. He was making 250,000. Oh yeah, and the value of the dollar is going down. So actually, I'm actually making 100,000. It just looks paper-wise. It says 250. So I didn't go anywhere, and he's still in the same position, and everybody else is still in the same position. Actually, though, I have less resources to work with now. And he has more than me. He had that before, but I had a certain amount of resources too where I could get some shit done, even though he had more than me. But now that my resources are smaller, it's like you could do more with 150,000, even though he got 250,000. You could do more with 150,000 than you can do with 50,000. And now that I have 50,000 and his 250,000 has went down to 100, you see what I'm saying? Is like, not only am I not going anywhere, now if it does happen like that, I have less resources. And people don't understand that. Like, they really don't. And the people who didn't have nothing going to sink. And the people who didn't have nothing going to sink, because we forget about those folks. In this great nut-ass thing that they like to say to black people. When really the issue be transfers of wealth. White folks do not want transfers of wealth. Not even the ones that's your friends. I'm sorry, they don't. Because that would mean they would have to give up their shit. So how do we grapple with that? When you know that how you got your shit, it's a level of deception there. It's a level of fuckery there. It's a level of violence there. Because the people who get eliminated from the space, or who get used to give you more for doing less, not saying you ain't working hard as shit, but you don't got to work as hard as me. It's just not real. And you could be working hard as shit. And then it's the crazy part about how privilege is set up. If you just so happen to work hard as shit, with your privilege, where the fuck do that leave me and how hard I gotta work now just to prove that I should be here? Not to get none of the shit that you about to get for working so fucking hard. Because you about to get the raise, the promotion, the bonus, the awards. And now since you working hard as shit with privilege, again, look where it leaves me. I have to work harder than that just to prove that I gotta be here. I ain't getting no promotion. And where am I going to go? How am I going to live a life having to work that hard? And then we going to stamp it as real behavior. So if everybody can't work this ridiculously hard like this, they're looked at as worthless. You know, they shuckers and jivers. They're lazy. They're incompetent. They don't want to work. That's violent, bro. Because you know how many people look at that and just say, fuck it, I ain't even going to try that shit. Fuck it. I'm going to just lay right here on the ground. They'll give me some services. I get some services. You know what I mean? The Democrats got y'all all addicted to services. And y'all mad at the Republicans. Now the Republicans going to cut off all the places that fucking Democrats got you addicted to, you dickhead. Basic politics. Y'all act like politics is so fucking, it takes all of this fucking real thought. No! The Democrats got you addicted to some shit that's not real. And they even made you believe that it was yours. Like, we're giving you your 40 acres and a mule. 40 acres and a mule belies ownership. System that oppress you, giving you something systematic, that's not ownership. You have to cut me a fucking check and let it be mine. It's mine. The land, it's mine. It's mine. You can't do nothing on it. If you come on it, I can blow, and I will, blow your fucking head off. That's real ownership. Because one thing that Europeans have set into motion in the world, if you can't defend it, it ain't yours. I've been telling y'all that for years too. Not even your body. Not even your person. America show you that all the time. If you can't defend it, he gonna take it. He gonna rape it. He gonna lock it up. He gonna starve it. Yeah. Because you can't defend it. And then defense ain't just one thing. He got you fucked up on that too. They weaponize everything. The guns ain't the only fucking weapons. The food, the medicine, the TV, the entertainment, not everything. They weaponize everything. Yes. The Department of Defense are making Hollywood movies. They weaponize everything. So y'all don't be on that level of thought. And again, I got to give it to you. And I love it. Because I love you. This is the highest level of thought. This is the highest level of love. Sensitivity. It's the highest form of intelligence. Giving you this information, taking the time to learn it so that I could disseminate it. Y'all know what I mean. You know, not meaning assimilate. How they try to get us to do during the civil rights movement. Strategic folly. Dr. King told y'all he fucked up. He listened to Whitney and them boys. You got to look at the guys behind the scenes writing the policies and who they was connected to. Politics was played at a high level, and we thought we were getting something beneficial, and we really got duped because there was a psychological play that went with that policy. And the psychological play was that black people believed that they were inferior. So once they got the opportunity to go be around white people and do white people shit, they gave up all of their ownership, all of their equity. That's a psychological play using policy. Because that's I'm talking about a direct result of signing those papers, the civil rights movement, and how they played with strategy and psychology. And there was a lot of people who was a part of the civil rights movement who had privilege who wanted to maintain it. And this was a way to maintain it and still fight against those political people that they didn't like. We keep having the Civil War over and over again, the emancipation over and over again, the changing of ownership through policy. That's what's going on right now. And one of the things that I'm looking at and I'm thinking is very important to me if we just want to talk about overall politics. And I don't really get into national politics. I really don't give a fuck. This country is what it is. You don't really got to look at the policies everywhere. It is things that you can learn on how people are fighting, what they're fighting against, but it's still the same line and continuum. And what they really trying to do is take America back cleanly to the Jim Crow South. And the Jim Crow South is apartheid South Africa. If you watch the similarities in how those two, and if you look at Hitler, and a lot of what he did was based off of American slavery, captivity, and how they did folks and how they treated folks and how you kept people in their place. It was based off. That's why America protected their scientists, those vicious piece of shit ass devils, if you want to call them, insane motherfuckers that was doing the weirdest experimental shit to people you can ever imagine. America protected them. They gave a lot of them safe haven. These niggas, we make comics about them. Some of the stories are in our comic books. Marvel tells a very deep story about the Civil War, World War I and World War II. If you pay attention. Yes, this dope shit. I love Marvel. I love the movies. I love how they was able to translate those comic books into TV. But it's entertainment. If you really look into, especially the comic books, it's in there. It's in there. You want to know about America? You want to know how America ticks and what the motherfuckers be on? Europeans? Not just Europeans? Oh, comic books will give you the shit. Yes, Marvel. It will do it. If you know history already and you go read some comic books, ooh, autodidact shit. I'm telling you, it'll give you a whole new perspective on those on Marvel. For real. So anyway, a lot of those scientists were protected by America. A lot of the eugenics that went on in America with Planned Parenthood. Another reason why I don't like the boys. I didn't get off of that. I spin. But it's all connected. So, if you read Medical Apartheid, there's a part where Du Bois and Margaret Sanger are talking about black women and black people and should they be allowed to have children or not. And Du Bois is in agreement with Margaret Sanger. So certain things you talking about black motherhood. You talking about killing before they grow. That's a different level of I didn't understand and I was caught up with identity. Clean off. That's all I'm going to say. And those who know me know me. It's no way. I relate all of it the same. You are talking about killing black children and getting their mothers to believe that it's okay. No, bro. I can't ride. I wanted to rip the cover off. Every time somebody tell me about the boys, I'll be ready to go ham, but I don't want to fuck the space up. People try to tell me about Booker T. Same thing. Some of us chose heavily not to fuck with black people, bro. They chose to do what they were doing. And you have family who are like that. You have friends who are like that. You could tell them all the good shit. They don't care. They've chosen. Some of our intellectuals, they know this is their strategy that they have come up with. And you are cannon fodder. And they know they can get it off on you because you look like them. They know they can confuse you. So, no, I'm not a fan. And if you read more, you'll know why I'm not a fan. And if you want to talk about, and I understand he became certain different things, and he had a plea at 90 plus years old when he moved to the continent and said how he fucked up. Richard Wright did the same thing. A lot of these boys, I might have got him and Richard Wright mixed up right there. But Richard Wright was another of them dudes reading Black Jacobins now and getting more in-depth about C.R.L. James. And then we got our whole brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and that whole identity and how we deal with each other as Africans and all that. And that's a real thing that we need to have conversation about. That goes into colorism and all that shit too. So I am not a fan. And I would, and fan might not be a word. Like the niggas, for me, he was a traitor. Because I still see the effects of Planned Parenthood right now. It has been, codified as law in black people's communities. Taking shit like Depo, poison. Sisters, start looking back. Start seeing why fibroids is a thing for our sisters. They poisoned the womb, bro. They poisoned the wound and they made it cultural. They made it okay. They made abortions okay for us. They made the killing of black children okay because that's what that is. They made our children a burden, and they made the ones who created them feel it the most. They disconnected you from your man and then told you to hate him. And then told you to act like him in order to get it back. And it's not going to work like that. Read about Planned Parenthood. Read about eugenics. Read about Hitler from that standpoint of what is eugenics. Read about those scientists and how they were protected by America. Read about how Hitler got his whole playbook from America. Read about how feminism, racist white women created Planned Parenthood as a way to poison the black woman's womb, and then got people like the boys to co-sign it intellectually. Get deep into this shit, bro. Y'all on the surface with it playing. And when I stop talking fat, come up here and shoot. Not shoot me down, but shoot me down in that way. I'll use that language. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that. I defend myself. So I'm just saying, don't play that game like that. Seriously. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no smoke. Anyway. Read. And the last thing, on the way out. I also love black people. I got my young brothers coming up here next week. Anwar, Chris, Maj. I don't know if Dooley gonna be able to make it. He not gonna be able to make it. I'm trying, I got some other brothers. If they see the show, y'all want to tap in. I got some young boys that still my little bros. I'm gonna tap into them on Instagram and all that. See if they want to come up on Tuesday. We gonna try to have we gonna have a level of real conversation. We gonna do what we normally do. We laugh, we joke about some serious shit. But I think we be getting to the crux of some things. We be coming up with some real ways to think and how to move forward. And I appreciate that with the brothers that I be around, young brothers at that. You know what I mean? Not saying that like brothers my age, don't be on that time, but it's a lot of confusion with the brothers my age. Like, I'm really seeing something weird going on with men in their 40s where they really, really, really trying to relive them 90s. And a lot of you niggas wasn't in the 90s like that. Y'all telling these stories to people like y'all was involved and activated, and it's not true. And y'all starting to believe it like it really was true and be acting like these type of dudes, and y'all not these type of dudes. So, grow the fuck up. Y'all like jail niggas who come home and be the same age. I'm learning drug dealer niggas who didn't go to jail and come from that era. Like, y'all some fucking liars. You know what I mean? Niggas I know from that era that be talking about they sold drugs, be telling their kids and telling the women, like, but I just didn't get caught. Nigga, you ain't sell no fucking drugs. And why you want to tell everybody that story? Why the fuck is that important? And if I hear another, this is to my brothers who work every day. Y'all not squares. The corny niggas is corny niggas in every lane of life. Just because you got a couple dollars don't make you not going to be corny. Just because a couple broads like you don't mean you ain't a corny motherfucker. Just because you can dunk don't mean you ain't corny, nigga. And just because you went to college and got a degree don't mean you ain't fucking corny. And just because you can fight and you ultra violent, that still don't mean you not fucking corny. You nut ass nigga, you in the way. So, I'm saying that to say, before I get out of here, sometimes they just be taking me off my square. I don't want to go off my square. But seriously, I'm saying that to say, I forgot what I'm saying now. It's over. The show is over. It's 4:00. Y'all knew I'll go back on the tape and give y'all the end of it on Instagram or something. Because I was saying something live. You remember what it was? Why I went into that about dudes being a nut ass. Oh, yeah. I remember before we get out of here. Y'all 40-something. Stop. You didn't sell drugs, bro. You work now. You got a whole family. Stop lying to your kids talking about I just didn't get caught. Like, I'm tired of corny niggas. Because I know niggas who really ain't do nothing, and it's cool that you didn't do nothing, so why are you saying it? And I experienced that a lot with, like, COs and shit. I didn't like that shit. It used to fry me like, yeah, the only reason why I'm not in here with y'all because I didn't get caught. Bro, shut up. You doing that don't make you thorough to me, bro. The fact that you're going home and taking care of your family every day, and I wish I was. That's enough for me. I'm trying to hear about the pension and the vacation and how you still living this life paying child support and shit like that. That's real nigga shit for me. You ain't quit your job. You wouldn't got another job. Like, bitch, don't play with me. The kids is cool and I'm cool. You still mad. Yup. Not in my life. My life, it didn't go like it. It just got played with in my life. The whole you won't do it, that just was an imaginary concept because the motherfucker was mad. I do it. And I love doing it and they know it. So, that is a shit that I respect as a man. Like, bro, this nigga been married 3 times. He got alimony, child support. And he look at it like he's still rocking. I respect that. The fact that you was selling drugs when you was 16 and didn't go to jail, I don't care about that. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Don't even put that in your story. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? That shows how stupid this shit is. But, yeah, stop listening to Griselda. I'm going to keep telling y'all. And kissing them niggas got y'all niggas fouled too. Kiss got y'all niggas fooled like a motherfucker. Y'all niggas fooled. But at least y'all being in good shape now. I am seeing a lot of brothers, and it ain't just the brothers that was upstate. I am seeing a lot of brothers in my age group trying to get back in shape, getting back in shape and all. And I think that's important because y'all really seeing like our lives are longer than 50 and 60. Seriously. And if you do take care of yourself, you can rock out until 80. And most of you niggas don't want to do nothing but it after that anyway. So you healthy enough to take your pill, get your John, and until it's over. Because that's all they got us doing at the end anyway, ain't it? Yo, oversex society. So, I'm out of here, man, on some real shit. This is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Pop. Shout out to the children. Shout out to all my family, all my comrades. Salute to all those folks that understand the importance of Asada. Read the book, please. I love black people. We out of here, man.